Welcome to the Remarketing Podcast. My name is Jerome Lewis. I'm your host for today. The Remarketing Podcast is a podcast where we talk marketing, tech, business, and leadership. We talk these things for real estate agents, real estate investors, and real estate entrepreneurs. The Remarketing Podcast has two purposes. Purpose number one, Sheila, to spotlight you, your business, your service, or your product in a way that provides value to you, including market exposure and content creation. Purpose number two, to educate and inform our audience and listeners. All right, we have a special guest for the second time today. We're doing this the second time. Sheila Cohoon. So, 30 years, she has gained amazing skills from every position in every company, from customer service, executive administration, IT support, software programming, and everything in between. Sheila was always the one person willing to step up for any challenge. In 2018, after 15 years of dedicated service to her last employer, the contract position was discontinued and she was left without a job. Today, she is a successful realtor and business owner with an amazing vision for the future. The many years she has spent being challenged by new technology has served her well in her new career. Most real estate agents are behind in the area of technology, so she has become a beacon of light for them. For the past 3 years, she has held weekly software training for new and experienced real estate agents with the objective to assist them in becoming successful. Her passion is always helping people. In 2009, her son was born, and in 2010, he was diagnosed with NF. NF stands for, Sheila?
Neurofibromatosis.
Thank you. Since then, Sheila has tried to assist families by connecting them with others in the NF community. The one thing she has learned through all of her life obstacles is that she is stronger than she knew. She has unbridled passion for kindness, and she is more versatile than you can ever imagine. Sheila, welcome back to the Remarketing Podcast. Excited to have you.
Thank you.
You
Thank
are
you.
very
And
welcome.
it just goes to show you that even the best technology people can screw technology up.
Right. We all have our moments. And
Yes.
it goes to show you, I appreciate Sheila because I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing it again. She was like, we're going to get this done.
Yes.
Accountability. You need that accountability in your business. So
Yes.
I would like to kick it off with some questions. It's going to be a little bit different. Some of it's going to be the same, some of it's going to be different, but I'm going to kick it off with some questions for Sheila. And the first question that I had for her, Sheila, what's a common myth about this field or expertise?
Real estate, you mean?
Yes, real estate.
So real estate, I think the most common myth is that realtors are sleazy salespeople, and it couldn't be further from the truth. And I think it's more now evident more now than ever is real estate agents should be educators and guiders and helpers along your journey in real estate. So um, we're not sleazy salespeople. We're here to help you and if you find somebody that is you're feeling uneasy about, know that there are many other people here that have really good intentions of helping you and guiding you along this journey.
And so you have like a lot of experience with transactions. And one of the things I see online and just in general with real estate is the people that don't use a real estate professional, a realtor, or somebody that's within the industry, they lose on like housing prices and stuff like that. So
Yes.
they think they accomplished something, and most of the times they didn't. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I believe that in previous to getting into real estate, I would have said the same thing as most people that aren't in real estate. Um that oh yeah, I can sell my house on my own, but there's certain things that you're not aware of. You're not aware of the market. You're not aware of the terminology that gets used. And there's new terminology with every wave of real estate. The up and down of the real estate market. Not only that is if you have a full time job, how are you going to field all the phone calls you're going to get from realtors because realtors are the only ones that are calling you because they want to list your home. There's so many things that you're unaware of as a for sale by owner that you didn't know because you didn't investigate it or you're not on this side being a realtor and understanding what for sale by owners go through. Not only that is really you're not going to really save yourself much because your biggest pool of buyers is on the MLS. And the only way to get on the MLS is by contacting a real estate agent.
Okay, awesome. And really quickly, could you like in simplest terms possible, could you tell us what the MLS is?
So the MLS is a multiple listing service, and what that is a cooperating service for brokerages to list their properties for sale. So it's basically a web service provided by different boards where all the real estate agents can share their homes for sale. They input the homes for sale on those sites, and then they're shared everywhere. They're syndicated to Zillow and Realtor. So that's where they start as the MLS, and then they syndicate to all those sites.
And really quickly, before I became a licensed real estate agent, it's really tough to get the MLS information. And it's nothing exclusive or secretive about the MLS. However, one of my mentors used to tell me the reason why you want access to the MLS when you're trying to buy or sell a house is because it has the most data there
Yes.
available, right? None of the
Yes.
other platforms have that much data available. So that's why you want
Well,
access to.
I think you could find the data, but I think it would be harder to find it. You'd have to do a lot of research. The one thing that I share with my clients is previous home sales because I think it's important. When did it sell? How much did it sell for? Were there issues in that listing? There's a lot of good detail is in history, right? So I think if you can make sure that you share that data with your clients. It helps them to determine if they're making a good purchase or not. And it helps them to feel more confident too.
Thank you. From your perspective, Sheila, what's the most important personality trait or strength someone needs to work in this industry and to be successful?
So I think customer service is probably the number one thing that you should have in this business. It's going to be the one thing that's going to help you succeed the most because without good customer service, nobody's going to want to work with you. They're going to work with you this one time and they'll not refer you out. So I think if you have customer service, especially in this day and age where customer service seems to lack so much, I think if you can have it, you're going to stand out amongst more real estate agents. Um, Out there.
So, define for us in the simplest terms possible what is good customer service.
Good customer service is making sure that at the end of the transaction or at the end of the phone conversation or at the end of the meeting that the person on the other side is completely satisfied. They're happy with the sale. They're comfortable. They're confident. They can walk away and be able to know that they can come back to you at any time and that you're going to be there to assist them and give them trusted advice and guidance in anything.
Thank you. And so, next question we asked you before is who has been your most important professional mentor?
So first and foremost, the biggest mentor I had was Jennifer Mertland, but as we talked about previously, I'm gonna have to say my husband was my biggest mentor. He was the one that supported me and pushed me and really made me see what I was capable of doing. Jennifer brought out in me a mindset shift that I didn't know I had. And between the both of them, I think I was able to really look at myself from a different angle and a different light. And so those were the two biggest ones.
Awesome. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone starting out in this career?
Um, the biggest piece of advice, gosh, that would be to get a mentor, a coach, accountability person. Make sure that you are accountable to somebody because the biggest thing that happens when you get into the real estate industry, if you're not on a team, if you're going at it as a solo agent like I did, um, is that you can get completely lost because there's nothing to hold you accountable. Um, my husband works, so I'm not pushed too hard there, but I want to be successful in this real estate industry, and so I have to push myself harder. I have to show up and be accountable. Well, you can easily not be accountable, right? You can easily not get it done. So having a person or a group of people to work with on a weekly basis to hold yourself accountable is probably the single most important thing that you can do. So whether that's a team or whether that's somebody that you get with another real estate agent or a coach or a mentor that's going to help you grow your business and help you move the needle every week. That's so important.
All right. So speaking of accountability, we're going to rearrange the questions how we did it last time,
Mhm.
and I want to go right into the video accountability group that we have. Could you talk
Yep.
about that, the importance of accountability in that video accountability group?
Yeah, so the video accountability group that we created about 12 weeks ago um, was so that we can hold ourselves accountable to put out a video every week. Consistency is the key in real estate. And so whether you're doing postcards or doing social media or calling, cold calling, consistency is the key. Well, video accountability is the same is the exact same thing. Being consistent and showing that video every week, people are going to say they're going to say, "Oh, Sheila's going to post a video this week. I can't wait to watch it." Or they're going to know that every week you're going to give them value. So, that video accountability and having other people to be accountable to in that group is so important. And also, I mean, we didn't do a money accountability, right? Nothing like, oh, you're going to pay $100 or whatever. It was a free 12-week session. But the biggest thing that held us accountable is the fact that we could be called out on social media for failing to say that we didn't post the video or we didn't get the video done. There's none of that. We have to make sure we get it done because if we don't, we're going to get called out for failing the challenge.
All right. And next, so you have done hundreds of videos, as we talked
Hmm.
about before.
Yep.
Why would you start or participate in some kind of accountability if you already have that experience?
Because no matter how experienced you are, no matter what, you got to show up and do it every week. The moment I stop doing it, then I get lackadaisy, and why would I want to do it? So I just think that continuing to be accountable every week is going to help me as well as help others because I'm going to be there with them to help them show up.
Okay. And let me see. How do I want to ask this question? Would you say that? So I want to talk about video and the importance of video. Would you, first and foremost, would you say that people that use video have an advantage, disadvantage? Is it like, what is your perspective on the importance of video as a real estate professional?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think, as we discussed in the other video that we did, the pandemic changed everything. Before there were door knockers, right? Real estate agents went out and met people and door knocked and had, coffees and dinners and lunches and things like that. Well, when the pandemic hit, that was it. Like you couldn't get in front of people. And so a lot of real estate agents, didn't know how to do it. So the next best way to get in front of people was to Zoom, right, and have a conversation that way. But you can't always, people don't always want to Zoom or they don't always want to, have a meeting like this. So what you can do is you can market yourself on social media, in email, all different ways by doing video. And what that does is it puts a face to a name, it puts a personality to a voice, it puts a face to a voice, but it shows somebody uh, what you're saying and how you're saying it, and in the personality and the character and the way you move and how you are. So, short of being right in front of them, the video is going to show them you and what you're like, and then they can begin to trust your face, your sound, your voice, and what you're saying. It's really very powerful.
Absolutely. And so you mentioned like people being able to see you and your body language and stuff like that, and they can
Mhm.
sense your tonality, right? So me, somebody as serious as me, I always struggle. People like, well, how did you say it that way? And when they see me on camera, they can understand my tonality and it gets me in less trouble. So that's one of the reasons why I highly encourage that people get into video.
Yes.
That being said, Sheila, from your perspective and your experience, what's like, because a lot of people struggle with scary. Like, what's a good first video, or what's some insight you can give people on getting over that hump to do these videos?
Video accountability. First and foremost, the only way you're going to get over the hump is to just do it because you're only going to get better when you do it. Like I said before, if you're a basketball player or any sports player or anything, everything takes practice, and if you don't start, you're never going to know how good you can get. So if you just start doing it, and the best way to start is maybe just text videos to your family and friends, right? They're the most people that aren't going to be judging you. And really, nobody really judges anybody. Anybody who goes out there and says, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," you just have to ignore them. But if you just start practicing and getting it done, you're going to get better. By no doubt, you're going to get better every week. I watched it in this first accountability session. I watched people get better every single week. They got more comfortable in front of the camera. They didn't worry about B-roll. They didn't worry about this, that, and the other. They just did it. And I even felt that way too. The other thing that I found is that um, as we did it, more people started to interact with people within our group. So it was really powerful.
Absolutely, and that's a perfect transition because I wanted to actually we talked about the accountability of
Mhm.
that group, which is like that's great. We get success and we grow, we get growth from that. But I also want to talk about the support and the encouragement. Could you talk about that, please?
Absolutely. So, like I said before, being accountable is so super important because you have that other person. But it's that support, that caring, that encouragement, that pushing that helps the video accountability. We've had many people in our group be like, well, I need this lighting and I need this mic and I need this and no, you don't need all of that. You just need to do it right now, and you just need to do it in front of the camera, in front of your phone, in front of your computer, whatever, and just do it. When I first started out, I did I just did it by sitting in front of my computer and I screen shared a couple things. So, it's just about getting in front of the camera and doing it without having to worry about all the fluff. The people watching it don't care about the fluff. They care about what you're telling them.
Yep, they care about your message. So
Yep.
we talked last time. We talked about tools, right?
Yes.
Indispensable tools. So number one of the most indispensable tools in your business is video.
Yes.
So I want to get two more from you, Sheila. So tell us about two more tools that are indispensable for real estate agents in their business.
Yeah. So the other two tools that I use are Canva and WeVideo. I'm also going to encourage you, in WeVideo and in Canva to do screen sharing and those things. But the biggest thing with Canva is, and I've taught Canva for 4 years now. I was teaching real estate agents before I was a real estate agent. But the biggest thing in Canva is you can literally do anything in Canva. You can screen record, you can do video, you can create social media graphics, you can create email graphics, you can create GIFs for emails. Like there's nothing in Canva that you can't do. Everything on my website, on my Google My Business, on everything is from Canva. I don't use any other software. And I haven't since I started in real estate that where I've created graphics. I don't use anything else. Um, you can animate logos in Canva. It's just an incredible piece of software, and and really for the price, it is so well worth it. $120 a year for this piece of software can help you grow your business. It's the single software I've used to help grow my business. The other one is WeVideo, and that's a video editor, and it's so powerful because you can screen record in there, you can share your screen in there, you can add your B-roll, you can video edit. There's so many things you can do in there. And between those two pieces of software, it's got me where I am today.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And so let me just complicate things a little bit for you, right? Why would I use Canva versus something more complex and whatever the stuff that everybody else is talking about? And the same question I posed for WeVideo. Why would I pick those over some of the other stuff that everybody's on the bandwagon about?
Well, from a technology standpoint, I've done technology for 30 years. And when I get in and I dig into technology, I'm like, okay, let me try this. Let me try this and let me try this. And I really try to figure out what the best piece of software is. And honestly, if it's clunky or cumbersome, or if it's not as user friendly or intuitive, then I'm not going to use it, right? Because it's got to be simple, it's got to be fast, can't be complicated, and it can't be complicated to learn. The biggest thing I find with people that are just getting into technology is if there's an obstacle, they're just gonna stop. They're gonna just check out and stop doing it. So I found that Canva is the most user friendly piece of software that you can use, and it does so many different things and and they've made it easy to learn. They have training inside of Canva, and you can find nearly anything on YouTube related to Canva. And it's the same thing with WeVideo. I used iMovie, I used Adobe, I used all these other things. And quite honestly, Adobe is a great piece of software, but for video editing, their software is so overwhelming to the eye that it just is so difficult. So I just find that Canva is very fluid and very easy to use. And same thing with WeVideo.
Okay, awesome. And so while we're on that, right, we're talking about software. This touches on technology a little bit. And in our last interview, you talked about the importance of understanding technology in this business, virtual brokerages versus brick and mortar. Could you expand upon that, please?
Yeah. So, uh, the one thing about brick and mortars, brokerages is that generally you're going to have like an IT person in the brokerage that's going to help you get set up with your website with all the different things. So, uh, those are great. And you'll have an admin, and you'll just hand your file to them and they'll upload everything. They'll handle all that aspect of it. The problem when you come to a virtual brokerage is you don't have that person right there, right? You're not in a brick and mortar. You're not walking up to that person and getting trained. So you have to go out and get training. You have to go out and learn the different software that it's going to take to escalate your business. You're going to have to learn the software to upload your documents to have them reviewed. You're going to have to learn the software to be able to market yourself, to create your website, to do a CRM, like all these different things um, that virtual brokerages have. And again, you don't have that one-to-one person that you do at a brick and mortar to be able to help you with that. So, from a technology standpoint, I think brick and mortars, I'm sorry, virtual brokerages are a little bit more difficult for those who aren't as tech savvy or who are just starting their technology journey. If you are doing that, just know that going to a virtual brokerage, you may have a more difficult time and it may slow you down a bit in real estate.
All right, so I want to challenge you based off our last interview, and so it's like this: Can you can you succeed without technology in this business? And if the answer is yes, how?
I think you can. I think you can. mm, I think you can be successful. I've watched agents
Mhm.
be successful without technology. But you gotta be a go-getter. You gotta be in front of people. You gotta be talking to people every day. Um, eh, you know, um, the one thing about this business, it's a relationship-based business. So if you can be in front of people every single day talking to them about real estate, then go for it. If you can door knock, a whole neighborhood, go for it. That's a fantastic thing. That will get you success. I've watched it happen. But in this day and age, uh, with the whole new COVID stuff, people are a lot more scared of those things, and so you end up getting apprehensive about doing those things. So you can be successful by just getting out and door knocking and having conversations and doing meetups and things like that.
If you had to choose that way or versus like like I guess more modern, like using technology,
Mhm.
which would you choose?
I'm always for a softer approach. I don't like when people just come to my door out of the blue. I just don't. You just don't know who's going to be on the other end of that door. Um but I just don't, and a lot of people don't. So I feel, that if you can soft touch them, or really, really what it boils down to is attracting people, right? If you can attract people, those are the people that want to sell or do something, right? Most times when you're walking around in the neighborhood, you're just trying to find somebody who may want to do something. But when you can market yourself out there, then you're going to be the first person that somebody realizes, um, or somebody that they'll remember when they're thinking about selling. So if you've marketed yourself well and you're everywhere online, there's no way that they're going to forget you.
Okay, so speaking of marketing, same question: What is your top recommendation for real estate agents to market themselves? Like what tools? Is it Facebook, Google, YouTube?
Google and YouTube. Quite honestly, Google My Business has been the biggest thing for me. I started it when I first got in the business, and Google My Business has been phenomenal for me in my business. It's in the 3 years that I have been a real estate agent, my sales have been 1.6 million. I've done great with Google My Business, and in the last probably 2 months since I've been geotagging my images, it's gotten me more visible, and I get probably about 2 calls a week on average, from either buyer or sellers. So it's fantastic. And then YouTube in general, everybody, any search platform, right? Anywhere where people are asking questions like, where's a local real estate agent, or how do I fix my home up to sell, or whatever. People are searching online. They ask those questions online. So you want to be that person that shows up in front of them when they do that. So if you can just use Google My Business and YouTube, I think those are going to be in the future the two biggest things that how real estate agents or how business people in general are going to be found.
All
That's
right.
that's really it. I
All
don't
right.
think I mean, Facebook's nice and you're going to connect with people on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all those things, but I think in general, like the hardcore, like understanding of agents and seeing, their reviews and understanding who they are, you're gonna be found on Google and YouTube.
I agree with you. I do most of my stuff over there, and I do my more personable stuff on like social media.
Yeah,
Because YouTube and Google, it's not really social media. They have some social media aspects, but those are search engines that people come and they have a special intent. I'm ready
yep,
to buy or sell, or I'm ready to do some kind of business. So
right,
that's why I like those platforms. I'm a business person.
yep.
Speaking of, we talked about like what I want to do is I want you to get your screen share ready because I want to like the purpose of our interview is like that video accountability. But something that we mentioned is you mentioned is like Google My Business, and we're transitioning the Google where the video accountability over to not only video accountability but a training as well. And I'm quite confident that you're going to do training on how to set up and utilize Google My Business. So there's your screen share. Just tell us a little bit about the video accountability as well as some of the training that you're going to employ in that video accountability.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be starting our next session, which is going to be 8 weeks. And they will be every Friday at 1 o'clock, starting this Friday, June 10th. And this session we will be charging. As I said in the last video that we did, I've been doing training free for 3 years. And my husband and Jerome and other people have pushed me to say, you're valuable and what you provide people is valuable. So I'm going to charge just a little fee, but I'm going to be bringing big value. So I think you'll get a big bang for your buck here. It's You have two options. You can pay $75 each month. So it's 8 weeks, so it's going to be 2 months. Or you can save a little bit and pay a one-time payment of 125. And what that gives you is a once a month, I'm sorry, once a week Zoom session at 1 o'clock on Friday with me for 30 minutes and the other group of people in the in the video accountability. So we'll be on Zoom for 30 minutes. We'll talk about, struggles that people had. Again, it's that support that you'll get in that 30-minute session from other people and hearing what their struggles are too. You won't feel alone. And then after that, from 1:30 to 2 or 2:30, depending on what we're training on, we'll be doing software training. So that means we'll be doing some Canva training and some video training and some Google My Business training. What is geotagging? All those different things that I talk about in here and on my Software Skills for Agents group. Um, we'll be discussing that training in from the 1:30 to 2:30 session. And then lastly, it's a bonus. You will Each person that's in the video accountability will get 2 hours over the 2-month period. They'll only get 2 hours of one-on-one time with me. Now, that's a lot of time, honestly. If you're struggling with something and to get a one-on-one with somebody who has really good technology
30
background,
years.
30, what did I say, 30 minutes?
30 years of
Oh, yeah, well, I mean,
skills and experience.
yeah, I have 30 years of technology background. If you can sit with me for 2 hours over a 2-month period and work one-on-one to, get you moving forward with your business, I'm telling you, it's super valuable. And you can ask anybody, ask Jerome, ask Tony, ask Mike Hawker, like everybody I have sat down with to do a one-on-one technology training with, they've really come out more successful on the other end because of it. It's moved their business forward a lot. So I'm offering that 2 hour for the entire 2-month session. I hope it's clear. I'm adding that as a bonus in there. So I'm doing everything I can. Really, my goal for the whole thing, really, and it has been since I've gotten in the real estate business, is just to help other agents succeed. We should always be helping each other succeed. That's what we're here for on this earth, is to help each other.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sheila. So we're going to get back to the questions. The question I have for you,
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to this one. What favorite productivity hack do you have for real estate entrepreneurs?
Uh, uh, Productivity hack.
Yes.
Um, I mean, between Canva and Google, like those two are my productivity hacks. Is that
Okay.
what you're talking about?
No, but they could serve. That could serve. If
What,
you
what
could
would you
give,
consider? What would you consider like a productivity hack?
so a productivity hack for me, as an example, would be like, how could I get more stuff done in less time? So one of my favorite hacks is to like watch videos at 2 times and 3 times the speed. So that,
Oh,
yeah. Or something like, I block out everything for the next hour and I do all of this work and I get it done. Or I visit like you. So this morning I did like a really long. I had to write like an email sequencing campaign, and it was like you can't get off until you're done. But I got my work done. I've been trying to get this sequencing done for like 2 weeks, and I got it done because it was like you can't get off until you're done. So anything like that, that you have?
I would say the biggest productivity hack is just to stay focused. And the way
Mhm.
to stay focused is, write your list down of what you want completed and do it. Cause that's really been the thing that I've been hyper focusing on. You can get so carried away with the shiny objects of everything, especially in real estate. Everybody's throwing everything at you. Just stop. Just focus on your thing. Doing marketing is is I would say the productivity hack. Like, do marketing, but stay hyper focused on what it is you are doing.
Awesome. So now we're going to get to the personal questions. Then we're going to go to the closing table with personal questions.
Okay.
If you could be remembered for one thing, Sheila, what would that be?
I would say for helping people, like, I want people, I want to be just like Jesus. That's my goal. I want to be as close to how Jesus was as possible. And I want to be known for helping people. I want to be known for helping people succeed, helping people be better, helping people be more empathetic, like everything like that. So be like more like Jesus.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And I'm a fan of Jesus. And I think sometimes, I'm just going to say it because sometimes I think people forget, but Jesus was very stern. Like he
Mhm.
was loving, but he would say things that need to be said. He would hold people accountable too. People seem to forget that part about Jesus. They like the loving part, but they forget about the other stuff that mattered. How he, tore down the temple and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just realized that the last couple years, just getting more into the word, I
Mhm.
realized that, like, Jesus was very stern. He wasn't
Very.
always just so like, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay."
Yes.
Like, he was very stern, like, "No, this is the way you have to do it. There's no, gray area. It is this way. Absolutely. No other way." So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm so
Yeah,
so glad you said that.
100%. He was very stern, and I really
Mhm.
love that. My mom really
Flipping
drove that
tables.
into us. Yep, like this is not right. Like, hey,
Yes,
let's talk about the love and the friendly stuff, but he was stern, very
yes,
stern. So,
yes.
next question I have for you: what has been your favorite job that you've held?
My favorite job was when, and it really got the ball rolling for me in technology. It was my very first job, and it was, anybody who knows zip forms. Um, Zip Forms is a real estate forms software, and I actually started out when Zipform started out. I was their first 2 employees. I think I was one of the first 2 employees, if not the first one. When
Wow.
Zipform came here, yep, I used to work for, a forms company, and then Zipform came here, and we started, creating the forms and the software and things like that. So I started out there creating the real estate forms, not knowing I'd be a real estate agent, but it got me understanding how forms work and the real estate market and things like that. So I was very integral in how I navigated the future.
Wow, Sheila, that's I just learned something new. I never knew that. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool, especially now that you're in real estate and we all know what zip firms is. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Tell me about three most influential people in your life and how they impacted you.
Well, Jesus is one. He's the first one. Jesus impacts me immensely, especially now more than I get into the word on who he is and what his expectations and all that are. The second person that is influential in really who I am as a person is my husband right now.
What's
He
his name? I love how you
Daryl,
talk about your husband,
my
Daryl.
husband
Okay.
Daryl.
Yep.
He's pretty incredible. We've been married for 17 years, and he is my biggest cheerleader, the biggest person that supports me and says that I can do it. And I've never felt that way in my entire life. Um, but my husband makes me feel that way. He shows me that I can do it, and tells me I can. And then probably the other person that's been influential in my life was, like I said, Jennifer Martland. Um, m- she pushed me like nobody else has ever pushed me before. Made me cry so many times. I cried so many times, but you know what? It's when you break that you succeed. It's when you fail and when you are pushed that hard. And really, our biggest fear is failure, right? I have to say, our biggest fear is failure. And she just pushed me. She pushed me that edge. But the funny part is my husband was right there at the edge telling me I can do it. So, you're going to get through it and it's okay to fail. You're
Sheila,
going to succeed on the other
Sheila,
side.
I like mess with you a little bit, but I always appreciate how emotional you are. I appreciate like your passion. The question I have for you is, how do you, because you mentioned like you've had some moments where you've cried, how do you determine when somebody is doing something out of love and care and for your best interest versus not? Like, how do you handle that? Like, how do you just not receive it personally that she's attacking you or anything like that? How do you process that?
Y- You know, um, it takes a lot. It takes a long journey to get to the point where I am. And I always say if people can talk and understand with intention, if you can speak from intention and accept from intention, then who's going to get offended, right? Um, I know that Jennifer had my best interest. She wanted to see me succeed. My husband has my best interest. He wants to see me succeed. How can I mean, can I get mad at them? Sure. Because it's tough. But I know in the end that they care about me. And I think that's how most people are. When I'm pushing people or you're pushing me, I think that uh, we have to understand that we're doing it out of love and caring and that we want to see people succeed. So I think if everybody could get to a point where they understand that somebody's not doing this because they want to hurt you or that they have bad intentions for you, they're doing this because they really have your best interest at heart.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm trying to figure out that balance because sometimes people, they just take things personally. And I have much better things to do than try to attack somebody or make them feel bad. So,
Yeah, you can't worry about offending people.
mhm.
Offense is a funny thing because it's personal,
Mhm.
right? you could say something to somebody and they could take offense to it, but you
Mhm.
had no intention of offending them. So, offense is really a person's own viewpoint of how they receive what you
Mhm.
say. So, you have to not worry about offending people. I don't say that in a way like, "Oh, just be, very, you know, like, who cares what people say?" I mean, sometimes you have to reflect and maybe did I say something that could have that they could have been offended by? Um, or that I said it offensively? Yeah, you can reflect on it, but in most cases, if you talk and present yourself with love and caring and help, then I don't think that you can offend people.
Yeah, and kind of like you said, that sternness. People took offense all of the time, and he never really
Right.
said anything malicious to hurt anybody or anything like that. But he just insisted on taking offense.
Right.
And
You gotta just come from a place of love. If
mhm,
don't be mean to people or belligerent or disrespectful, like, those aren't good things. Be assertive, be caring, be loving, be empathetic, be humble. All of those things will show people that you have their best interests at heart.
I appreciate you, Sheila. Next question: what's one question you wish I had asked you, and how would you have answered it?
Um, how why did I get into real estate? Or how did I get into real estate? What
Okay.
either one of those.
All right. So let me ask you:
Yeah.
why did you get into real estate? How did you get into real estate?
So, why did I get into real estate and how I get into real estate is probably one and the same. So after I lost my job, um, of my 15-year job, I came home and was like, "What do I do now?" We needed to redo our house, so that's what I did. I took on that challenge of redoing our house, and it took a year, and I did it. Okay. Um, Never did it before, but I did it. And I'm always good at taking on challenges because it helps me learn. But then I said, okay, now I got to get back into the working world. And so I don't have a degree. I have a lot of experience, but I have no degree. Unfortunately, the world was like, oh, you need a degree in order to make a ton of money. Well, I took on jobs that were like $11 an hour and then 13, like very little. And I went into a real estate company making 14.50 an hour. It wasn't what I was worth. We talked about worth before. I didn't feel at that time that was what I was worth. I was worth a lot more, but I was willing to stick it out and help them. But I thought, let me get my real estate license and see if I can do also real estate and be successful there. So I did that. Unfortunately, it didn't work out at the real estate company. And I put in my 2 weeks and I thought, "You know what? Let me try my hand at just being a realtor and seeing if I can do this and being successful at it." And so that's how I got into the real estate business, and I just been navigating this journey ever since.
All right, awesome. I'm going to switch things up. And earlier we talked about like Google My Business. Could you do a screen share and show us the power and just some of the power in Google My Business and its
Yeah,
benefits?
so I'm
Mhm.
just gonna, screen share, and then I'm going to do let me get over here and do a screen share since I wasn't thinking of doing this, but I will
Okay.
do it anyways
Yeah,
because this is what we do. It's
this
fun
is what
stuff,
we do.
right?
Yes.
So, let me get hold on, I gotta get my yeah. Where am I at here? I want to get my Google up here. I All right. There we go. And let's do this. And we're going to do an incognito. I'm going to show you the power of Google My Business. So when I type in into Google, so I need to be Google here, and I type in realtor in Clinton Township. Okay. I'm the first one that comes up here. This is the power of Google. And this is the power of working your business, okay, on Google. And so coming in here and seeing your name at the top is amazing. This is above real estate brokerage Google My Business. A single solo agent has gotten above brokerages on Google. And so when I come here to Google My Business, I'm going to show you a few things that really are going to stand out and what you need to start doing from a Google My Business standpoint. So these are called products, and you can put products in Google My Business. It helps you when people come to your Google My Business, start to see the different products that you have. So millage rates, if you want to understand about millage rates, you can click on that and get to a link. Same thing with home search. I'm going to be putting a couple more home searches here. So all these different products are super unique to my business. Same thing with finding homes or seeing homes that were just sold. The other thing is question and answers. Okay. You want to make sure that you're doing question and answers on your own Google My Business so that people can see the different things that you offer. Now, I'm going to tell you two things to do um, to get yourself higher in Google. And one is the reviews. Make sure that you are asking from your friends and family. If you're just starting out in real estate, ask for reviews about your character, about the type of person you are. That's one thing. And then for every deal that you close, ask your title person to give you a review. Ask
Oh,
your buyer to give you a review. Ask your mortgage person to give you a review. Ask everybody to give you a review. Um, and then the last thing that you should be doing is doing geotagging of your photos. And I'm not going to do anything with that right now, but if you sign up for our training, we'll be going over geotagging in that session. Geotagging has been the biggest thing for me. Actually, let me go in and
and
sign in here.
could you define geotagging for us really quickly?
Geotagging is actually putting a latitude and longitude on your photo along with keywords. Google is really big on keywords, right? That's how things are found on Google. So um, if you can geotag your photos in different locations, then when people are looking in those locations, you're going to pop up. Um, so let me show you here just my stats so that way you can see. I also do a restaurant by me. Um, I'm just going to stay here. And what I want to do is I want to show you these views. So uh, um, these have increased in the last year because I've been spending more time on it. But just in the last probably 2 months, because I've been geotagging, that has increased immensely. Um, Let me go down. No, it's over at Insights. On Insights, right here, this discovery is where you want to be. People that are just searching for a certain product or category or service, that's where I'm getting found the most, right here. So if people type in Sheila Cohoon, which they normally don't, right,
Right.
I'm going to show up. But I want to show up when people are typing realtor or real estate agent or, homes for sale. That's when I really want to show up. So you can see here my stats on how much I'm being found on searches on the map and just in listing searches. So this is really good information. You should always be coming here to look at your performance, to look at how you have increased in visibility on Google. And then right here, it just shows you when you type in realtor, like I'm up there. So I showed you, realtor in Clinton Township. I was the first one that came up. And honestly, when I did this in a different location, about 40 minutes away, I came up second. So, if I'm coming up over anybody, any brokerage, that's huge, right? So
Yes, and I had a question. Oh, how much does that cost? Doing all of that you did?
zero. It's
Zero.
free. It's free.
Okay.
So
And
the return on investment on Google My Business is 100%.
yeah. And tell us one more time how, because you're going to be doing the training. Tell us one more time how we can get access to the training on that.
Yeah, to get access to the training, I think you shared some links in the
Hmm.
chat. I don't know if you want to reshare those links,
Yep.
but feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to put my email in the chat, smc at milocalrealty.com. Just reach out to me via email and we'll get you connected. Into the video accountability group, and then I will send you a link for payment on that. But we're going to be starting June 10th at 1 p.m. If you are not part of the group already, then you don't have to do a video. But if you're part of the group, we're already continuing to keep doing video. So, but the part of the accountability is being called out on social media for failing to do your video. And so a lot of people, again, we don't want to be a failure. So we that's really the part that we are pushing you to do is to just do it, just do it, just do it.
And that accountability works. You talked about Michael earlier. I remember when we first started, and he was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" And now he's like, he's an all star now. So
Yeah, he really is. He's out there doing it and he's so natural. You know, I always I love this phrase. If you could see yourself like I see you, you look at yourself differently. Like we all are so hard on ourselves. We always think so bad about ourselves. And the the part about video accountability and just accountability in general is just having that person there to tell you stop saying those words. Stop being so derogatory towards yourself. We have to change the way that we talk to ourselves. So Mike was doing it, and now he's a superstar. I think he sees himself in a much different light now, and I think a lot of the people in the group are the same way.
I'm so happy. Like Mike, I'm just so happy to see him thriving. Like I
Me
really,
too.
really, I'm grateful because when we first started, man, he was like, "What?" and ah. Now he's like, he's awesome. So
He's completely out of his shell, man. He is
yeah,
in his element.
thanks to that accountability. Sheila, this has been fun. We went over this time, and I have one more question for you, and
Yeah.
then we're going to get one more statement. The question is, where can listeners find out more about you online?
Yeah. So you can find me on Facebook, always on Facebook. You can go to Software Skills for Agents and subscribe to my YouTube channel there. I do have a Software Skills for Agents Facebook group. You can go in there but the easiest way to reach me is just to email me if you're looking to do like a one-on-one. I'm going to start charging for those one-on-ones, but it's very reasonable. Um, it's just because of my time. But I am happy to do one-on-one tech calls with people. And if you just email me, I'll send you a Calendly link and we'll work it out. SMC at milocalrealty.com.
Awesome, Sheila. So, closing statement, and the closing statement I would like from you is give us a closing statement on video, doing video, implementing video into our business.
Like I said on the last one, just do it. Don't look for the fluff. Don't look for anything else than just doing it because it's going to be the first step in you being successful. Just do it.
Awesome, Sheila. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You will be back. We will be back. I'll see you around.
Yeah, thanks. And hang on a second, Jerome.
Yes.
As I did in the last video, I just want to acknowledge your incredible um, um, support and love and guidance and everything that you do for people. I feel like you and I are very much the same person, and we really try to help people. And I just don't think you get enough um, credit for what you do for people and how much time and caring and love that you show to people. So kudos to you for everything. You're an incredible person.
Thank you, Sheila. I really appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
All right.
Take care.